Okay, I'm making this video. Somebody asked me a question about how I knew Jeffrey was the one, and well, basically, how I knew that he was the one that I wanted to marry. And thought it was a really good question, so I decided to um, just give me 1 second. I just really wanted to do a video response to it because I don't know. I just thought it was a really good question, and for me, a personal one that really made me think about it. But quite honestly, it was really something that I knew almost immediately, but not quite, because you know how when you first get into a relationship and everything seems so perfect, you guys are having fun, and I didn't want to misread it because of the initial excitement of meeting someone that I vibed with really good, and I didn't want to think that, or I didn't want to read too much into that, because I found through past experiences that when you get too excited about somebody is when you set yourself up for the greatest downfall. So I decided to give it some time. We gave it about a year and a half before we finally got married. But as to when I actually decided that I wanted to marry him, it was about a year later, and we started actually talking about it. Um, and we decided that 2 years was good enough. I mean, I feel like, after 2 years, you should really know a person as well as you're going to. You can't really ever fully, completely know a person, because it's really hard to trust somebody with every little detail of the inner workings of your mind and your emotions, and but the good thing about it is that I find that I really do trust him with those innermost thoughts that, I don't feel like he would reject me for. And I think that's what most people are afraid of when they don't completely show themselves to one another, is that they'll be rejected yet again when the world is just like waiting to reject you at every turn. So, just going to cut this light on here. So, I really knew immediately. I just didn't trust the thought, because I didn't want it to be like so many other relationships before, where I got excited and then it turned out not to be what I thought it was. So, you just kind of give caution to the wind a little bit in that area. But I can say that my instincts about him were right, because who he showed me that he is actually who he's turned out to be. And he hasn't changed from that. Our relationship is constantly evolving and changing, because we're still, I mean, we've only been together 4 years, but I feel like we are still getting to know each other. I mean, seriously, because, there's just so much about people that you learn. It's kind of like you never stop learning, you know, um, and I think he's learning me as well. And the funny thing is that I'm still amazed at how much I do know him, because sometimes we'll finish each other's sentences, and like I'll call him with an idea. He's like, I was actually thinking about that same thing earlier today, or, something weird like that. Well, not weird, but just really nice to, know that our minds are on the same wavelength. But I knew right away that I loved him. I knew pretty soon after that um, he'd be a really good partner for me. And I don't know, I just really, really, I'm like crazy about him, really. You know, he is actually the man of my dreams, because when I dream about a man, he's actually in there. he's the one I dream about, you know. And a lot of my dreams have to do with both of us, or like the family, and a lot of my dreams revolve around family. And I don't know, he really is the man of my dreams, because he's just wormed his little way into my psyche, and, you know, put his print there, like, you know, his stamp there. And I don't know, I can't say it enough. I knew right away. Didn't trust the first thought, but turns out that I was right, and we are still going strong. And not that we don't have our problems, people. I don't want anybody to think that, you know, they're the perfect couple. And no, we're not. You know, we have our problems. We don't argue, but we do have times where, when we disagree, we have to come to some sort of mutual understanding with each other. And speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Hello. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing okay. What's going on? Oh, okay. How's work going? Um, well, no, not really, but I'm actually like doing a little video. Somebody sent me a question, so I was kind of doing a video response instead. So, no, it's okay. You don't have to be sorry about it. I'm just, you know, letting you know. And can I call you back in a few minutes? Okay, love you, Bubby. Oh yeah, I know. Okay, love you. Bye bye. So, what was I saying? I don't know. It doesn't matter, because I can skip all the way around. I can talk about this topic all day long. You don't know, because I love talking about emotions. I love talking about people, and, you know, and I could just, I mean, if there was some dialogue here, I could keep going all day long. But yeah, so I guess that's it. Um, oh, for those of you that want to know specifically what convinced me about him, just a few little tips that I got growing up, you know, from my mother and, you know, other women in my family. You know, the way that he treated his mom. He loves his mother. And the way that he was a hard worker. Um, he was somebody who, I don't know, to me, he was trustworthy, because the same things that he talked about, he actually showed. So it was, everything just kind of came together. And then the one true factor, though, was, which I told this viewer who sent me an email, is that it was the way that he loved me. You know, he's very kind and gentle, and he's thoughtful. You know, and when I say thoughtful, I mean, like, if there's something that he wants to say that he thinks might hurt my feelings, he'll think about it first. And I know that he's thinking something, so it'll kind of be like, you know, well, what's going on? You want to talk about it? And he'll say, no, I just want to think about it first, and then I'll come to you later. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like, how many guys actually will say that instead of just sitting there brooding? You know, when you ask them what's wrong, and they say, oh, nothing, and then you find out, like, you know, a year later he's been having an affair because, you know, something that he was never able to open up about or something. But Jeff will tell me, you know, it's not something that I can talk about right now, but when I get the words together, when I get my thoughts together, I'll come find you. So, you know, he's like that. And you know, and then when he comes to me and he talks to me, it's like he says it in a way that doesn't put me on the defensive, you know. he really tries to spare my feelings a lot of times, but he is it's always of the utmost importance that he's always honest with me. You know, so even if he think it might hurt my feelings, he'll find a way to say it that will kind of spare my feelings. And since I know that about him, you know, or I've come to know that about him, a lot of times when he does say things that might be taken out of the way by somebody that doesn't know him, I always know that it's not coming from a place of malice, you know. Um, but yeah, he's a pretty good guy, and he's just very gentle with me. He really takes care of my heart, you know. He doesn't take it for granted that, you know, we were brought together. Um, you know, and I think the way that he views it is because of the different relationships that he's had in the past have actually um, made him who he is for me today. And you know how sometimes you say, "Oh, I wish I would have met you years ago," that sort of thing. But we have to realize too that during those times in our lives when we weren't together, we were actually learning, so that when we did come together, um, it was compatible. Because I don't think years ago we would have been compatible. The things that he knows now and the things that I know now work, so that the things that we don't know, we can work on. You know, I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I kind of lose things in translation because I can picture it in my head, but the words don't always come out right. I could have never been a public speaker. But yeah, so it was just basically his love for me and the attention that he gives me. And we're both needy people, so being needy, you know, it just kind of goes hand in hand. So we can kind of give each other that. Now, it's not the support is not the word I'm looking for, but we can both give each other that thing that we need um, to make each other feel comfortable in the relationship. So after so many years of having that uncomfortable feeling in so many other relationships, it's nice to have that comfortability, to have that compatibility, whatever other word you want to use that ends in ility. So, yeah, so that's it. So if you guys have any more questions about, you know, how we met, how we relate to one another, I think that might be a good idea for us to actually begin to like make videos about, you know, how we deal with certain things in our relationships. So if you guys got any ideas about that, hit me up, send me an email, and let me know, and then I will work on it for you, and so we can kind of, you know, share our life with you a little bit more, share our relationship, because we really do have such a good relationship. Um, you know, so, you know, we can share that with anybody. That would be fine. And if it works to help people tolerate one another a little bit better, um, then, I mean, who am I to stop it by being selfish and keeping it to myself, you know? Okay, so I'll get back at you later, and I'm going to try and upload this now and send it out to you. And yes, I know I look a hideous mess. I'm getting ready to do my hair today, too, before I go to work. So in a couple of days, I got to do a perm and all that good stuff. So, yeah, looking forward to sharing a little bit more with you, but you got to put in those questions for me, okay? All right, thanks, and deuces.